So I don't know what like brought me to this thought process, but today at work I was just thinking about the Poltergeist movies and I was like, I should do a ranking of all the Poltergeist movies. So here we are. Now hopefully I've killed enough time because the bottom of my ranking in fourth place would definitely be Poltergeist 3. And I cannot talk about that movie without swearing. So here's hoping, YouTube gods, it should be about a minute into my video by now. Here we go. Fuck Poltergeist 3. I hate this movie. And when I say hate, I don't mean like, oh, it's a bad movie. Because like I said, there's many different degrees to which I can like something, okay? If a movie is horrible, if it fails objectively at like what it set out to do, okay, it could still be quite entertaining. Plan 9 from Outer Space being probably the most prominent historical example of that, all right? But Poltergeist 3 is a piece of shit. First of all, the entire concept of Carol Ann living with her aunt and uncle is ridiculous. It completely shits on the entire like family notion of the strength of the family from the first two films, as though they learned nothing, okay, right off the bat, all right? Second of all, that stupid psychiatrist character. And I'm not even talking about like, oh, the guy was an obnoxious character. No. I get that he was supposed to be, okay? But like right at the beginning of the friggin' movie, all right, we see like these other health professionals that are standing behind him, and they all watch as a hand comes up out of a table, grabs a coffee mug, and throws it against the freaking wall, and then disappears. And he's like, see? Group hypnosis. She made us all think that we saw this. It's like, what? I mean, I'm sorry, dude. I love a little bit of absurdity. I love a little bit of cheese. I can extend disbelief when it's worth it, but give me a fucking break. We had, not Kane in the movie, all right? First the hell of all right? Kane just comes back. And the ending with that, by the way, spoilers if you actually give a shit about this movie. The ending, by the way, okay, it's just like friggin' Tangina's on the other side now. She's like, it's okay, Kane. I'll lead you to the light. It's like, you are the most incompetent midget I've ever seen in my entire life, man. Like, well, we'll get the Poltergeist too. Remember incompetent midget. I'll come back to that. But the worst thing, no, the second worst thing, God, this movie was a disaster. The second worst thing about Poltergeist 3 is the second half of the film. I don't know who wrote that screenplay, but they say the name Carol Ann more than they use the word the. The entire second friggin' half of that movie is people running around a building going, Carol Ann! Carol Ann! There's a freaking, the Carol Ann's cousin, okay? She gets sucked into like a puddle. Basically, the reflection of the puddle, it like sucks her in. She's been in the ghost dimension. They get her back. She's got all this like ectoplasmic shit on her. They got her in the freaking bathtub. What would you think she would say? Oh my God, I just saw ghosts and demons and shit everywhere under the... Nope. Carol Ann! Carol Ann! Carol Ann! Oh. Carol Ann! I like actually like gave me a fucking headache, dude. Like I hated that about Poltergeist 3. But the worst thing, the absolute worst thing about Poltergeist 3 is the fact that Heather O'Rourke was sick during the filming of that movie. Her face is all puffy and shit, you can see. And there's a lot of speculation as to what could have been happening behind the scenes. But one thing that we do know is that she wasn't well, and Hollywood saw the money bags in the Poltergeist franchise, so she had to do it. She had to be in the friggin' movie, and they basically killed her. They basically killed her, not even to produce a good movie, to produce that bag of shit that was Poltergeist 3. I mean, like, not that it would have been worth her death to have produced a good movie, but it's just that, like, little cherry on top. It's like we had to do this soulless cash grab at the expense of this little girl's life. Fuck Poltergeist 3. Coming in at third place would probably be the Poltergeist remake from 2015. Given the time frame that movie came out, I was probably stoned when I went to see it, high on marijuana. Just make that clear. It was pot, okay? Now, for those of you who have partaken, you know that it's sort of an experience enhancer. You go to the movies, even if it's a crappy movie, you're going to have a great time, right? The fact that I was able to find criticism with this film while I was most likely stoned is very telling. I don't like despise its existence the way I do Poltergeist 3. However, it is again another soulless cash grab. I mean, you got like Sam Rockwell in it. You got what's his face, Jared Harris, Richard Harris's son, Jared Harris. He was in it. He was good, and the medium lady that he was with, the two of them were good together. Their banter was kind of good. And there was actually, to be fair, a pretty off-putting, creepy sequence in a closet involving a drill bit that's coming from like the ghost side. That was very well filmed, and it was very suspenseful. Okay. Other than that, it was mostly a retread. I mean, like the shit with the clown and the tree, like kind of happened in the same scene, and it was just like it was so big and bombastic that I felt that it kind of took away from the terror a little bit. It was like just too much all at once. The biggest failing, in my opinion, on behalf of this movie, though, is the special effects. Because, granted, I know that Tobe Hooper used, like, real skeletons and shit at the end of the original Poltergeist. I'm not sure how that would fly today. But there was a lot of practical stuff that went into that movie. Most of it was practical. And even today, when you watch it, even when the 80s special effects are, 80s, like, you can watch it and be kind of like, oh, that's still eerie. I'm still a little creeped out by that, okay? When you watch a movie from 1982 and you're like, these special effects are superior to this movie from 2015, that's bad. I mean, they even had this idea of like a drone sort of going into the ghost dimension and filming everything, which had the potential to be cool, but everything is hoard out with CGI. It all looks so fake, and it's just like, you guys didn't even fucking try. The other thing is, the ending happens, like, very abruptly. And I don't blame the little girl for her performance. It didn't come off as natural, but to be fair, looking at what they tried to give her to work with, she did the best she could. But it's sort of like they thought that the whole thing was wrapped up, and they're in the car, and it was just like the quickest escalation I've ever seen in my life. She's just like, yeah, but the bodies are still on the floor. They're here, and they're mad, and they're gonna go. And then all shit hits the fan, and it's like, what the fuck? How did that happen? Oh my God. I forgot. Oh my God, that's scary, And it was just so not believable that it was noticeable. I mean, that's how it was. Coming in at second place is Poltergeist 2. Now, I know that for some people, this is their favorite one. And you know what? I respect that. I do. In my opinion, it is inferior to the first film. Not a bad movie, but inferior to the first film for a couple of reasons, okay? Getting back to that midget remark I made earlier, she says in the first movie, this house is clean. Is it? Is it really? You didn't know that this was Kane and that this underground layer of corpses that he trapped in this freaking thing weren't there. Even the end, like, when they get away and they meet up with her, she's like, I knew you would come here. It's like, did you know that there was a chainsaw in our garage, you stupid little bitch, that was trying to cut through our car? Did you see any of that? Oh, but you knew we'd come. Oh, great. Well, I'm glad we didn't die. And there's some really, like, there is some cheesy 80s special effects in the original Poltergeist, but this one, it's cheesier, I would say. Still a lot of fun, though. I don't want to take away from how much fun they were. The ending is a bit cheesy. It does go with the whole family theme, but it is like the, sort of Wayne's World, like, let's do the mega happy ending, kind of a thing. It's a little corny. But that's okay. Like I said, especially when I'm watching an 80s movie, I love a little bit of cheese. But the thing for me that makes Poltergeist 2, the thing that puts it on the map, is Reverend Kane, all right? Not that bullshit artist who played him in Poltergeist 3, the dude who played him in Poltergeist 2. The dude was actually dying in real life, and he looked almost skeletal, which, first of all, just props to him for even doing that, I mean, it's kind of sad that his magnum opus was like at the end of his life, but man, did he go for it. Man, did he kill it. What an unnerving, creepy, evil villain. Oh, God, he was so like, sends chills up my spine even thinking about him. He made that movie worth rewatching. Not just watching, but rewatching. Like, he was that freaking film. And for most people who do prefer Poltergeist 2, that is, for the most part, their go-to reason for it. At least as far as I've heard. Comment below if you have another reason. And of course, in first place is the first Poltergeist. That's another great sort of, you know, dipping your toe in the water movie with your kids. Like if you want to crank up the volume a little bit, like, all right, well, here's something that's a little bit actually scary. Poltergeist is a good one. I mean, you know, it's not like horribly gory or anything. There is that scene where the dude, like, you know, he has the illusion of like peeling his own face off into a skeleton and his flesh is like falling into the sink. That's probably about the grossest part in the movie. Other than that, it really is just creepy and unnerving. And given the fact that it was made in 1982, I think that a lot of those special effects really held up. Some of it wasn't special effects, but like even the tree eating the little kid, the clown, like the whole thing was just really good. And you know, Tobe Hooper, I feel he gets shit on a lot, particularly when it comes to Poltergeist. Because here's the thing, Tobe Hooper is actually a very talented director. Okay, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I think that Spielberg handpicked him for a reason to direct Poltergeist. All right, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre was very effective. The same methodology, I guess you could say, is using real skeletons and not telling your actor is like having a display of like rotten food in like a heinously hot, torturous house. It just adds that level of authenticity. Like it's visceral. You feel like you're there. What it sounds like to me is he really admired Steven Spielberg. He felt really out of his depth. And so when he was there in the studio, he kind of turned around a lot and said like, I don't know, Steve, what do you think? You know, kind of a thing. That's the vibe that I get from the whole thing. I don't know. You know, there are a lot of people out there who say, like, let's be real, Spielberg really directed it. I mean, I'm sure that Spielberg co-directed it, okay? But at any rate, Poltergeist 1 is a great movie. It's a great gateway film for kids. It's like one of the perfect ones. I put it right up there with Gremlins and The Gate. That's another good one. But yeah, Poltergeist 1, it's a classic. It's my number one. Totally respect if you like Poltergeist 2 better, but there it is. So guys, what did you think about the Poltergeist movies? Which one's your favorite? Give me your order down below. Yeah, and what did you guys think of Poltergeist 3? Did you hate it as much as I did? I feel like I have a really visceral reaction to it. I really hate it. I really hate it, and nobody else seems to hate it to quite the degree that I do. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts on that are specifically. Very interested to have a conversation. All right, I appreciate you watching. Consider subscribing if you liked this video. And that's all she wrote.